and welcome back to the Right Opinion podcast. My name is Tiana, or Tiana, that's Tiana with a J, and this is the podcast where we talk about all things writing and writers' opinions on the world around us. Today, I want to talk about some thoughts that I have on why writers and writing is the literal bottom of the barrel in terms of being a creative and as an art form. Now, the reason for this, I believe, is because when it comes down to it, writing and reading are the two art forms that, in a way, require the most amount of active attention. Think about it. If you're holding a book and you're reading it, you cannot do anything else. You can't go wash dishes, you can't work out at the gym, you can't walk your dog at the exact same time as you're holding a physical book and reading it, or you're sitting down at your laptop typing it out or writing it out, whatever way. With almost every other art form, you can put on a movie as you're, washing the dishes and have it playing on in the background. You can listen to music nonstop, whether you're paying attention to it or not, it doesn't really matter, but you can always have it there. Even when you go and look at a piece of art in a museum, for example, or you go to a gallery or something, you're there for maybe an hour, two at most. You take a glance at it, maybe a few minutes, and you're on your merry way. Reading and writing are not the same. Reading takes hours to read through a book. The average book probably takes, 7 to 8 hours to read, and writing a book takes significantly longer than that. Those of us that have done it know exactly how long it takes. It takes forever. So when you think about it, everything in today's world is vying for our attention. Social media, movies, sports, everything wants our attention for an endless amount of time, as long as possible, that they can take from us. And there are very smart ways that they've managed to do that. So, for example, music is one of those ways. When was the last time that you spent $2,000 to go see a writer? Never. But people will spend $2,000, hundreds of dollars, to go see some singer who, realistically, most popular singers nowadays, they don't write their own music. Most of them are not that great at singing, and they don't play any instruments, most of them. And yet they're wildly popular. Their music is constantly being pushed on us at every given opportunity. And then if you want to go see them, you're supposed to go spend God only knows how much of your hard-earned money to do so. Same thing with sports. People will pay hundreds of dollars for a jersey with somebody else's name on it, or they're willing to pay hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars for clothing with, again, somebody else's name on it to look like a walking billboard for a fashion house that's already worth millions of dollars. But you're never going to see someone wearing a t-shirt with an author's name on it, and if you do, you're probably not going to want to pay more than $20 for it. If your favorite author comes into town to do a live reading of one of their books or their newest book, you're not going to pay $500 to go see that. I've never heard of anybody doing that. Yet, interestingly, when entrepreneurs and self-help gurus and in the self-development space, if they're going to a conference or something, they can be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if you want to go have dinner with them, it's like $1,000 for that particular ticket. But again, you don't really have that for fiction writers, which I find pretty depressing, to be honest, because writers, we do the research and the writing that's the equivalent of a master's thesis. We're able to literally craft an entire world, an entire reality based off of our reality and also out of nothing. We're becoming experts in certain topics, and we're perfecting the art of communication. We're able to make people feel things just from words on a page. And yet it's deemed as like kind of the lowliest possible thing that you can do. Like, if you know, most people, when they tell someone they've written a book or they're writing, everyone's just like, why are you doing that? You're never going to make any money from that. Nobody's reading books anymore. Nobody cares. You know, so I just find that really interesting. But I do think part of it is because writing and reading are two things that take away so much attention and so much mental energy from everything else. You know, if you're stuck reading a book for 7 hours, that means 7 hours that you're not scrolling on TikTok or on Instagram, or you're not, you know, reading LinkedIn feeds and Facebook posts. So, with all of these companies and all of these different facets vying for your attention, writing and reading in a way are the most dangerous because they take away the most time, they require the most active participation, and they require an ounce of intelligence. Not to say that the other art forms don't, but if you look at the most popular music right now, it's not very nice. It's all sex, drugs, money. There's not a lot of substance to most of the top popular music that's, you know, playing right now. It's all kind of the same stuff on repeat. None of it's very good, realistically speaking, from a textual standpoint, but even the visuals, the music videos are just raunchy and honestly just kind of disgusting to look at. I can't tell you when was the last time I watched a music video because I just refuse to watch them at this point. So I think that's one of the reasons why writing is just considered to be such a lowly art form, because it just requires so much more in a way, or it requires so much more participation than other forms do currently. And it's the worst possible art form you could pick to get any sort of recognition from. Yeah, I think you truly have to be insane and masochistic to pursue it, but I think it's absolutely worth it in the end. But it's at the end, that's just what people and companies are trying to do. They're trying to distract you. They're trying to take away your attention, and that's everything. That's what everything is. And even me talking, you're spending your time listening to me. This is all just a big distraction. It's a distraction from what you should be doing, what you should be working on to make your life better, to prosper, to push yourself forward. I only hope that my podcast can provide some entertainment, not only entertainment, but it can provide you with something to think about. It makes you consider the world in a different way, and it's something that you find worthwhile and that brings you something to your life that maybe you hadn't considered before. It's, you know, something intelligent for you to consume. So hopefully I'll be able to do that in this episode and future episodes, and I look forward to speaking with you in the next one. You can follow me on Instagram at Tiana with a J. The link will be down in the description. And if you'd like to be a guest on this podcast, there is a Google Doc in the description that you can fill out, and then I will get back to you and we can figure something out. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode. And remember, everything is a distraction.